This video is brought to you by Alienware, featuring Intel Core i7 processors. Start gaming.
So, the Alienware X51 gaming PC. This unit was sent to me as part of a sponsorship deal, so yes, this is a sponsored video, but I will be presenting positive and negative aspects about this product. I want to make sure I give it a fair review as well. It has been my main driver for the last 4 weeks or so, and it's given me plenty of time to test the system, see what it can really do, and see who the machine is really built for and geared towards. If you want to check out the different variants now, there's a link in the description to the Alienware website. The unit itself is a mini tower. It's a small form factor PC, so here's a chocolate bar for scale. And it's mainly made of a matte plastic for the outer body, and that's wrapped around a metal frame, but it does come with the standard Alienware branding look. On the front, you'll find a rotatable Alienware logo, which is nice because you can lay this PC down on its side, and that's mounted on a glossy plastic panel that houses the front ports. Here you've got 2 USB 3 ports, a headphone jack, and a microphone jack. Just above that is the power button, but there is no reset button on the front of the unit, and I've checked around the back and I don't believe there's one there either. If you stand the unit up in its proper position, I think, you'll see on the side panels there are some cutouts for the LED lighting that comes as standard with this case. These LED patches can be customized using Alienware's built-in program, and it gives the PC a little bit more of a personal touch. Round the back we come to our standard array that's pretty much available on every single PC out there. Speaker ports are on there, you've got a HDMI equipped to the motherboard, you've got 4 USB 3 ports and 2 USB 2 ports, an Ethernet jack, and Alienware's own external graphics adapter, which you can plug a lead into and then give it to another external unit that's got its own graphics card in it to give you even more horsepower if you wanted it. But this PC does come with its own dedicated graphics card, so I'm a little bit surprised at its inclusion. Overall, the look and feel of the device is very nice. I like the matte finish, it just looks more premium to me. The glossy plastic on the front though is a nice contrast, but it picks up fingerprints very easily, and because light shines off of it because it's glossy, you're going to see those. Moving inside the case now, looking at some of the components in there, front and center is the Intel i7 6700K processor that's cooled by a custom liquid cooler built by Alienware. And this takes up a lot of the case. There isn't really much room left in here, but overall temperatures have been very low for me and operation is very quiet when idle, although the fan does ramp up when you're playing games, but to be fair, that's expected. Alongside that, you'll find 8GB of RAM, a 256GB M.2 SSD, which I'll talk about in a second, a 2TB hard drive for proper storage, and an Nvidia GTX 960 graphics card. The M.2 SSD is the boot drive, and it's really impressive. I've got a bit on the screen right now, pushing the power button. This is how long it takes to get to the desktop, so it is extremely quick. But the M.2 standard is fairly new, and 256GB of it plugged directly into the motherboard is going to push the price of this unit up a little bit, which is likely why this thing costs a little bit more than other small form factor PCs. It's a nice addition to have. Maps load extremely quickly on this PC, however, it is going to cost more. In terms of the hardware configuration, I don't know why they went with an i7, which is extremely powerful and has hyper-threading, which is probably more beneficial if you're going to be making content on this PC, and a 960 graphics card. Don't get me wrong, the 960 is still a very good graphics card, but for me it would have made more sense to have an i5 CPU and a 970 graphics card, especially when you're going to pair it with that super fast storage. Overall, I think that would have given a better package, but I'm not going to complain. The i7 is extremely powerful and the 960 is a very capable graphics card. So that's the unit itself. As I said, it's a very nice looking PC and it fits a lot of good hardware into a very small space. It's very nice if you want to just put it on the desk next to your screen, or if you wanted to even put it into a media center and hook it up to your TV. I think that's another very good use case for this. Because it's so small, if you don't have a lot of space, then you don't need to be afraid of buying a PC that's small because you think it's going to be underpowered. That's not the case with this PC. There's a lot of horsepower in there, and it performs really well in everything that you want it to do. But now onto the bit that I'm sure you really want to hear about, the numbers. I picked a few games that I think will best represent what people who follow my channel will play, loaded them onto the PC, and given them a run. I'll list the specs that I'm running at in the bottom left hand corner so that you can get a comparison to maybe the PC you're using, or if you're trying to get an idea whether this PC is right for you. As not all games can run at Ultra, sometimes I'm just going to push the game as hard as I can, and other times I'm going to make sure the settings are there so that you can get a really good gaming experience. First of all, let's start with Star Wars Battlefront, a very well optimized game that shouldn't really trouble many systems out there. I'm running at full medium settings here, and we're picking up between 60 and 90 FPS, which is what I really expected. Star Wars Battlefront is extremely well optimized. On my main PC, it runs flawlessly, and here, even on medium settings, the game still looks absolutely fantastic, and it's running at a really good frame rate. I didn't expect anything less, but it still looks awesome. Moving on to something that I thought would cause the PC a little bit more concern, 64-player Battlefield 4. And actually, it didn't trouble the PC at all. As you can see, the FPS counter in the top right-hand corner there is recording well over 100 FPS in most situations. We are running at medium settings. If I go high and ultra, we creep closer to that 60 FPS mark, and in certain cases on ultra, it does dip below 60. So if you want to maintain a really good frame rate, play Battlefield 4 at medium settings, and you'll be just fine. And last of all, we have CRYSIS 3, which is always a great test of your computer's power. Here we're playing on very high settings. I couldn't crank them any further. The game was just almost unplayable. But you can see here on very high, which has all the visual effects cranked up almost as far as they can go, and the game still averages between 30 and 50 FPS depending on what you're doing. Out here with all the particle effects and the rain, you're looking at around 30 FPS. But as you go inside, where there is a little bit less detail, you can pull in about 40 to 50 FPS. Ultimately, I would lower the settings down to medium or even low so that you can get a good, consistent 60 FPS with this system. But just to show off how powerful it can be, it can still keep up and show some amazing graphics. So then, to summarise, the Alienware X51 is a small form factor, powerful gaming PC that can run almost anything that you throw at it. You will have to tweak some settings. You won't be playing every single game on Ultra, but it is perfect for somebody out there who doesn't have a lot of space or maybe wants to turn it into a media center PC. I don't like the fact that the motherboard is a custom one, which makes it very difficult to upgrade valuable parts of your PC in the future, but perhaps the reason you buy a small form factor PC that's already built for you is that you're not too interested in upgrades anyway. If you want to check out the PC, there's a link in the description which will show you all the different configurations of the X51, starting all the way down at their basic model, and you really can push some of the specs up on the higher end. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Alienware for sending me the unit and sponsoring those 3 videos here on my channel this month. I do really appreciate it. I'll be back with more Battlefield content tomorrow, but until then, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.